Hi everybody. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear us. We were doing a live just a little second ago trying to make some hummus, but some of you said that you couldn't hear us. So hopefully you can hear us now. We took some spinach, we microwaved it, and after we microwaved it, we buzzed it in the little processor, and then we added, oh, let's get that can so we can show them the can that we used. So we took a can of, can you hear me now, Patty? Can you guys hear me now? So we took a can of garbanzo beans that have no salt added, or you can cook your own garbanzo beans in the Instant Pot, or you can do them boiling. That takes longer. The Instant Pot is much quicker. But we find these at Sprouts and Whole Foods and other stores. They have garbanzo beans that have no salt added. So we microwaved some spinach, and then we added the whole can of garbanzo beans, and we saved the aquafaba because the aquafaba is the liquid that comes out of the can, or the liquid from when you cook your chickpeas. So that liquid can be used to saute, it can be used to use in your veggie broths, it can even be whipped into meringue, and you can make a dessert out of it. We haven't tried that one yet, or did we?
I don't think we have.
And you can also use it as your oil when you're making hummus. So we don't use oil in our hummus, and we don't add salts in our hummus. So because we use all these finishers, and I'm going to show you here in a second. So I put a little bit, I put 1 tablespoon of tahini, and this is tahini that doesn't have salt added, sugar, oils, or anything. It is just sesame paste and dry roasted sesames and white miso. So 1 teaspoon of the white miso goes into the hummus, and I'm actually going to taste it now because we already buzzed it, and I want to see if I need to adjust it. That's really good. Oh, no double dipping.
So here, let me use this clean spoon and dip it on that one.
Okay, so that we keep one clean. You're so smart.
Right.
Okay, so we use a million spoons to try stuff. I think it's perfect because we're going to put all the finishers on it. So some of the finishers that we do are black olives, which they come out of a can, so they are going to have a little bit of sodium. So whenever we make a sandwich, or we make an open face, or we make a plate of hummus, let's get the breads. We take into consideration what's going to go on it. So the finishers usually might contain a little bit of sodium. So you don't want to add sodium to your dishes when at the end you're going to add finishers that are going to have sodium. And so maybe, and those finishers are going to be what kind of becomes your flavor bomb. And plus you can add nutrition, because if you use things like nutritional yeast can be a finisher. You can dust nutritional yeast on things. So any of the finishers that you have. So finishers can be spices. It can be the black olives. It can be nutritional yeast. It can be green onions. So we have green onions here. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to make open face sandwiches. And what I love about a whole food plant-based lifestyle is that I cook and I prep, and I have all this stuff prepped. So now our spinach hummus, which is already finished, which only had the miso, the tahini, the chickpeas, and the spinach, and the aquafaba. That's it. So, and all we did was take some fresh spinach and microwaved it, how long?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. So, and that's it. So the reason that we're doing all of this is because I bought a sourdough from one of our cottage bakers in town. And she has a sourdough that is made from red wheat flour and malted barley flour. So I was so excited to find a grain sourdough. So that's what we're going to be doing, and we're going to be doing maybe an open face. So he gets to choose what he wants, and I get to choose what I want. That's one of the things that I love about the lifestyle. That if he wants to put onions on it, and he wants to put all the things that he loves on it, he can.
Anything spicy.
Anything spicy if he wants to make it spicier. So go ahead and make yours, and then we can talk about what finishers we're going to put. So I have a ton of spices and finishers in our house. So the spices are used to cook while you're cooking, and all of our spices have no sodium in them. but we have some spices that might contain a little bit of sodium, and that's why we're minimal sodium. And you also don't want to go completely no sodium because you don't want to cause issues like thyroid issues because you might be missing iodine. So if you're using sodium, make sure that you're using iodized salt and not become deficient on iodine. So be careful if you are a no sodium household. You do have to keep tabs on that. So, and look, I had saved the mushroom. We're going to be putting mushrooms on our sandwich, and this can actually go, and I'm going to put it, sorry, I'm going to cross right over you. All right, I'm going to put it in our hummus because it's just a tiny little bit, and I had left it so that we could blend it into our hummus because any little bit will just add a little umami.
Say it with me.
Umami. So we have all sorts of umami things to put. My best, most delicious umami powder that we use in this house for everything. Do you know what it is?
The powdered shallot.
Powdered shallot. And what's the second one? My current favorite that I ran out of, the mushroom. So I took a giant container of dried mushrooms from Costco and I buzzed it in the processor and I made my own mushroom powder. And we use that thing for everything. If you don't want it to taste like mushroom, you just use a little bit and it gives it some oomph and umami to whatever you're cooking. And but if you are making a mushroom dish, then it brings the mushroom flavor forward out. My favorite is ramen with a mushroom powder. Ooh, yours is so pretty. He's ahead of me. Okay, so I'm going to put the hummus on my bread, and I am going to make an open face. It could be a sandwich too. You don't have to make it an open face, but I'm going to make it an open face because we cut our sourdough a little thick. But also, don't be afraid of breads. Don't be afraid of potatoes and pasta and any of the carbs. Like, those were the carbs that you felt like you couldn't eat when you were in a diabetic life where the doctors kept telling you.
For years and years and years and years. Years.
Yep. And you are a carb guy.
I couldn't have pasta, couldn't have bread, couldn't have potatoes, and that was miserable and I hated it.
And he's a carb guy. Like I'm more of I don't know, the food is what gets me, not necessarily carbs or sugar or desserts. I'm not really a dessert girl, but he is a carb guy. He loves bread, he loves pasta, he loves potatoes. And during 20 something years of living as a diabetic, his doctors kept saying,
no, limit your carbs, lean protein. What else did they say?
Lean protein, no carbs, no sugars.
Right.
And that's all they kept repeating. And so,
a life of deprivation.
Yep. And it was terrible because my son, he would go travel, and that's when I would tell my son, okay, we're going to make pasta because your dad is here, because we felt bad making pasta or rice or bread or cooked potatoes or any of that stuff in front of him because he couldn't have it according to the doctors. So lo and behold, it's not the whole complex carbs. It's the simple carbs. It's the saturated fats. That is what causes a problem for a diabetic's life. It's actually the saturated fats are what keeps the diabetic from being able to process you can explain it because you know it.
The glucose in the bloodstream. Any kind of saturated fat, whether it's plant or animal or dairy or eggs or anything, any kind of saturated fat is basically like a cover over the cell. It's like a coating on the cell, and it prevents the cell muscle from being able to use the glucose that's already in your bloodstream.
And for him, it's still obvious because what happens, like if we go to, like when do you notice it?
Oh, if I've had a meal, like usually it's a restaurant meal that has a lot of oil in it. So my blood glucose, no matter what I've exercised, what I've eaten, whatever, if it has a lot of oil in it, I see a blood glucose spike the next morning.
But it's not a spike where it's worrisome, and it's not a spike where it goes into abnormal numbers. But he does still check his blood glucose because we want to keep an eye on it, and we like to know, especially because I'm cooking, I want to know what my cooking does for him. But I am very minimal about the saturated fats, and this is why we are very minimal about saturated fats, even plant saturated fats. So that's why things like, you should know them by heart. I should make you say it.
Peanut butter, avocado, coconut, nuts, nut butters, even like this tahini that we're using.
But
we only use
finish the five. Finish the five.
Nuts, nut butters, avocado, coconut
Milk.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Nuts, coconut, avocado are the big ones.
Yes. So any of those.
Any kind of seeds, sesame seeds, for example, has saturated fat in it.
Tahini has saturated fat.
That's why we only use a little bit.
That's what we only use a little bit. Peanut butter has saturated fat. Almond butter, cashew butter. So all of those things are very minimal in our household because they are not good for your glucose. It's not good for your insulin sensitivity.
Even almonds, walnuts, pecans, all of those things, they all have saturated fat.
So what we do is we substitute for things that might curb down the saturated fat. So instead of peanut butter out of a jar, we might use peanut powder that we can reconstitute with water. Instead of cashews and cashew butter, we might use cashew powder. Same thing for almond and almond butter. We will use the almond powder. So the powder has been pulverized so finely that it has been defatted also. So it's been defatted and then it gets pulsed so fine that only 2 tablespoons is 60 calories and 0 saturated fat. Whereas if you have a tablespoon of the regular peanut butter, you're going to be seeing a lot more saturated fat for just 1 tablespoon, and you're going to have a lot more calories. Right. So we are not counting, we are not tracking, we don't sit there and write down what we made, we don't sit there and calculate it, we just smear the hummus and put the veggies on. Ooh, I want green onion too. And we
copycat. So you saw how good mine was.
Yes, that's usually what happens, but the other way around. So some of the finishers that we have in our house that go on top of things are sumac. Goes really good with hummus. So sumac is a Mediterranean spice that is tangy and lemony, and it gives like a little tangy bite to food. We will use dried shallots or shallot powder to bring out flavor. Trader Joe's has this chili onion sprinkle that we use. Now this one will have sodium, but we only use a little bit. And as you see, this doesn't have any sodium on it except for the black olives. So then we just start taking into consideration what we want to sprinkle. Trader Joe's black garlic seeds. So I love these. I put these on my soups. I put these on sandwiches. I put this on hummus. They're just literally, it's black garlic. Are you asking me to do this on yours? Okay. I'm going to hit you. No.
Don't hit me. Don't hit me.
Okay. So smoked paprika goes really good on hummus as well. So the bagel seasoning that has sesame seeds and such. Za'atar is another spice. As you can see, most of our spices are almost empty because we use them a lot, and we keep a wheel at our dining table, and a wheel filled with spices. And so when we prepare our food, we walk over to that wheel. I've moved all my spices over here, but we walk over to that wheel and then we enhance what we just made. So these are red pepper flakes. Are you going to put red pepper flakes on yours?
Yeah.
Did you already?
No.
You want some?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we've got the red pepper flakes. These are just some. And so the Sprouts has this line that they sell, and they have these crunchy toppers that don't have sodium. Some have sodium, but this one does not have sodium. And you can use it to, like people use it to mix it with vinegars or to make like a little dressings, but we'd like to sprinkle it on our stuff. So this one is a veggie crunchy, and it's got dried veggies that they have just dehydrated, and a little bit of black pepper. So if we ever put turmeric in food, we always put black pepper to activate the turmeric so that the absorption is better in your body. So that is like, so we have finishers like the green onions and the black olives and tomatoes or any other little cilantro, parsley, herbs, dill, anything like that. A squeeze of lemon, that's all a finisher. Plus any of the spices. So when you are cooking your whole food and plant-based food with minimal sodium, consider what you're gonna finish with before you start salting or over-spicing your food. Because, for example, yesterday we made a salsa, or the day before we made a salsa.
Right.
We don't put salt in our salsa because you might be using some chips that already have salt in them.
Right.
Or you might be using some type of vehicle that you're eating your salsa with that has salt in it.
You know what my favorite vehicle is?
Your what?
A spoon.
A spoon for your salsa? Oh my gosh.
The only reason I need chips is to get the salsa into my mouth.
Okay. All right, guys. There we go. So we've got open face hummus, spinach hummus, and let me see yours. Oh, so pretty. I cut up my mushrooms and he's got them all sliced up. So that is our snack dinner. Just a very quick canned chickpea hummus that we made with spinach. You can make it with anything. Sun-dried tomatoes if you have on hand. That's what I was digging in my pantry for. You can make it with turmeric. You can make it with mushy peas is delicious. Beet powder. I prefer beet powder to the beets because the beet powder, the flavor is more intense and delicious in beet hummus.
Beets are very good for your heart too.
Yes. What other flavors?
Edamame.
Carrot
Carrot
hummus is delicious. You just microwave your hummus before you, the same thing that I just did right now, where we took the spinach and microwaved it for 3 minutes until it wilted, and then we buzzed the spinach first, is the same thing that you do with any vegetables. So if you have some sun-dried tomatoes, you're going to put them in a little bit of water in the microwave, warm them up, buzz them. Carrots, you steam them for 3 minutes with a little bit of, tiny little bit of water until they're tender, and then you buzz them up until they're creamy. Then you add your chickpeas. Or
and if you want ideas, go to a farmer's market that's got a little Mediterranean place that sells hummus. They're going to have 5 or 10 different types. Get your ideas there, and then come home and make it without the oil and without a ton of tahini, and it'll be much healthier.
Look at you, sous chef. Whoa. Oh my gosh, he impresses me sometimes. And sometimes I think that he knows how to make my recipes, but he's too lazy to make them because he wants me to make it.
Who knows?
All right. Bye, foodies.
Bye, foodies.
Hope you're having a happy day. Bye.